So you're looking for a short-term rental property to purchase and the numbers in Orlando just aren't making sense? Well, stick around because on this video, we're going to be talking about a little nugget on the west coast of Florida called Punta Gorda, and we're getting to it right now. So I get a lot of reach outs about short-term rentals and investing specifically in Orlando because I live in Orlando, Florida. And for some people, the numbers work, and for some people, the numbers do not work. So I've been kind of like expanding out and seeing what else I can find. And there's this little nugget I talked about on my last video about the west coast of Florida, right under like Tampa, St. Pete area, where it goes from Sarasota, Venice, Englewood, and then into Punta Gorda. And so I went down there last week for a little road trip to not only go see what the area is all about, but also to see how it survived Hurricane Ian. And so this area was pretty fantastic, I will say. Now, I will make mention that I don't think that the people that drove me around realize how much debris is still there. So there are a lot of, in the video, you'll see a lot of piles of stuff, debris, fences, a lot of trees, a lot of brush, a lot of uprooted trees from the hurricane. And you would not know in some areas that there was even a hurricane as of recent. They bounced back pretty quick, and they're on the canal. So I was pleasantly surprised. And this is 29 miles from Fort Myers Beach, which, you know, we would call ground zero at this point. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that. There were a lot of blue tarps. So, but as Floridians, we are just used to that. So anyway, so back to talking about this area. This area has an undersupply of rentals. Now, this is interesting. Undersupply for rentals for not only short-term rentals, but for long-term rentals and mid-term rentals. Mid-term rentals being 30 days or more. You know, some people like to come down for the winter. Right now, particularly, we have people that are displaced from areas such as Fort Myers Beach that may need a home to live in temporarily until they figure out whether their house is being rebuilt or whatever. Yes, I said it. And long-term rentals, there are literally hardly any available homes right now. So the rents have shot up. On the last video, I talked about that as of October 1st, a one-bedroom, one-bath is $3,000. So a lot of opportunities in that area, considering that the price of a home can go up, especially in particular areas like the one we're going to talk about today, but not so bad that it doesn't make financial sense. Now you can see on this map a little tiny area called Punta Gorda, and it is nestled in that kind of picturesque Florida area with palm trees and canals and the ocean and sun and golf courses, and everyone's living their best life. So I wanted to show specifically the video of where we started off, interestingly enough, at a restaurant that used to be called, was called Hurricane Charlie's because of lovingly referred to from Hurricane Charlie. So I think they should now rename it once they rebuild it to Hurricane Ian's. But anyway, that's just my little thought process there. Now this area was ranked one of the top foodie areas in the United States because they have 70 private or independent, I should say, restaurants, which is awesome. I know some people really love their chain restaurants, but I also love that little ma pa, those independent, you know, I know he was telling us about an Italian restaurant that you have to wait months to get a reservation because it's so sought after. I forget the name of that restaurant. I'll have to put it down in the description. But so a lot of character, a lot of charm in this area. Now, before I go into this part, I did forget to mention, going back to long-term, short-term, and mid-term, that 4 years ago, under the let's say, parameters on the MLS, multiple listing search, of 1,800 square feet with a pool on the canal, there was somewhere around 180 matches. Now, 4 years later, there's only 32 matches under 950,000. So there is my whole point was there is an undersupply of short-term, long-term, and mid-term rentals in that area, which is why it appeals to me and I think some other investors that I work closely with. So then we went down into the historical area. There are homes there that are obviously much older and much more expensive. They have a beautiful park with pickleball, which, by the way, is one of the fastest growing sports in America. Kind of caught my attention because it has such a strange name, and I hate pickles, but I had to look up on YouTube pickleball, and I was like, oh, it's a cross between like tennis and ping pong. I love ping pong. I think I'm gonna start that sport because it looks like great exercise. But so pickleball is all the rave in that area. So they have pickleball courts and just a beautiful park near the ocean. So it's pretty picturesque. We also drove through an area called Fisherman's Village, which had a beautiful restaurant that we did not get to go eat in. We were pretty strapped for time, and shops and whatnot. So the area looked like it was hustling and bustling at that time. And so just overall great vibe. The downtown area, I'm hoping that I get some footage of some of the downtown area to add to this video before I release it, because it really is a lovely area, and I can understand why people are drawn to the area and understand the charm, even though I think I am a little gun shy about being on the water, and but no one else seems to be affected. The people that living in this area are like, let's clean her up and let's keep on marching. So that's kind of the overall vibe in the west coast of Florida. I wish I had time to drive down to Fort Myers. I don't even know if I would want to, because I don't know. It just seems a little sad still and a little surreal. Forgive me, it's on the harbor, that being the park. The park and the Fisherman's Village is on the harbor, which is obviously takes you right out to the ocean. So they call it the harbor. So you know. So we drove through what they call PGI, which is Punta Gorda Isles, which apparently is the place to buy if you are wanting to buy a home for yourself, or maybe a second home or vacation home. And the prices were reflect that it's the place, but they were beautiful homes. There was a combination of older homes, what they call the older section, and the newer section. And it was just really a lovely, lovely area. I have a couple pictures from the MLS, so I wanted to get at least a couple pictures. Now these homes, one of these homes, I did the search criteria for under 800,000. So this house, the first one, was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It is 2,289 square feet on the canal with a dock for a boat. And the community is called Burnt Store Isles. It's such a strange name. I know there's a story behind it. It's like 100 years ago. There was a burnt store, a store burned down. So that's how that name came into fruition. But anyway, it's on a cul-de-sac. It is near a golf course, and it is $789,900. And this was not a newer home, though they have put some love into the home. It really was a lovely home, and you can see from the aerial shots what a great piece of property. We were talking about how there is more waterfront lots, available lots in this area than anywhere else on that West Coast area, from like Sarasota on down, for sale still. And you know, it's kind of one of those things that once they're all gone, they're all gone. So there are still, I know that he had told me that these lots were running for about empty. They were running for about 200,000 4 years ago, and now they're up to 350, which sounds about right. There's also the second house that I wanted to show from the MLS in Punta Gorda Isles. Was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, which was also a lovely home, which had tons of upgrades. I wish I could have, given you more pictures. I just didn't want to put too much stuff up here. They had really taken this property because it was built in like 1989 or something, but they have renovated this sucker all. Like, it had a completely new kitchen, and the bathrooms, they went all in on the upgrades. However, the price of this property is $995,000, so right under $1 million. So certainly not inexpensive real estate, though there are some huge opportunities in that area that aren't quite so high. And so I'm going to do some follow-up videos to this video, because there was a whole sequence of different areas that we went to that have unique investment opportunities, whether you're going to purchase a second home or buy a home or buy a short-term rental. So I really wanted to kind of do the full tour, which we certainly did, and get a feel for the good opportunities in each area, the pros and the cons, actually. The good, the bad, and the ugly, as I used to say. I got to go back to that. I like that. I like that term, good, bad, and ugly. So the other thing that I noticed is that there's a lot of tile roofs and there's a lot of tin roofs. And tin or metal roofs is what I should call it. Metal roofs last up to 50 years. In my next home, I'm getting a metal roof because that's a great idea. It really, we kind of changed it in this area to shingles, meaning this area being Florida. But I've noticed in certain parts of Florida, especially on the coast, that a lot of people have metal roofs. So it really does make a lot of sense for hurricanes and whatnot, even tropical storms. Sorry, I don't mean to freak you out. We talk about hurricanes like, it's a hurricane. And I have to say that, for every time we get a hurricane scare, for 20, we may have one that does something. So it's not so prevalent that you're dodging hurricanes every single year, because trust me, if that were the deal, everybody would move out of Florida. It's an unmanageable way to live. So we get very almost resistant or like emotionless about it, because it's like, oh, here we go again, the weatherman. Oh, here we go. Home Depot's going to sell out of lumber. There's going to be no water at Walmart, because there's this frenzy and scare, and then it turns into category nothing, and it goes back out into the Gulf of Mexico. So I don't ever mean to make light of hurricanes. It's just you get kind of like hurricane resistant the longer you live in Florida. And so then something like this, and I say that I probably would have been one of those people. I want to never make light of anything that hunkered down and on Fort Myers Beach. And when I see the videos of that stuff, I'm glad that I don't live on Fort Myers Beach and I didn't have to make that choice, because I know how I am. So maybe this will shake me up next time. So really, the good news is we are probably not due a hurricane for a really long time. So, and the other thing is that because of this, there is a lot of, I hate to say this, but there's a lot of opportunities on the investment side. It's terrible to say that. I know it's terrible. Because of people moving out of that area, and because people needing, temporary housing, and because people coming for vacation. And now Fort Myers Beach maybe not be the place that they want to go to, because there's hardly anything there. So there's a lot of opportunities. Check it out on Airbnb. So today we were talking about Punta Gorda, and we're going to be talking about some of these West Coast nuggets and little areas of Florida. I really, really enjoy learning and seeing these homes, and they kind of take me back to my childhood of some of the older Florida homes. You know, they look like the homes like in St. Pete and Clearwater. But anyway, so if that's what you're looking for, let us know. If that's not what you're looking for, let us know, because we would love to help you out. We would love to help you find a long-term, short-term, or mid-term rental. So give us a call, and we will make sure that we help you out with that. So remember, if you're thinking about moving to Orlando or Central Florida, or investing in property in this area, or in those areas in the West Coast, well then send us a text, give us a call, send us an email, however you wish to connect, because we got you covered when it comes to all of the above. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.